What advice would you give to others about sex or sexuality?
Explore it.
Do what's right for you.
Just own it. Own your sexuality. There's nothing wrong with it.
Be who you are and learn to love yourself for you.
Build a really strong relationship with yourself.
Talk about sex.
Doesn't matter if you think this is ugly or whatever. If you're having a good time, just do it. Just be free and just do whatever you want.
There's no one way of looking at it, and it's something that needs to be explored. Obviously there's lines that I would not, if someone's like, hey, I'm really attracted to this sheep, probably don't explore that.
Be open about it. Don't be ashamed because everyone's fucking. I mean, it's what we hear. So it's nothing to be ashamed of.
I would just tell them to be comfortable with who they are, because only you can really love yourself before anyone else can love who you truly are.
Don't hold back. If you've got fantasies, if you've got want to try anything, don't worry about what people think. Go out there, do it, experiment, have fun.
I think that you should really do it for you. As much as you can want to please someone and do something for them, I think it has to be for you. You should never do anything for someone else. And if it's not for you, then don't do it. Do you know what I mean? If you're not feeling, I'm not saying you can't please someone or want to, but I feel like a lot of younger people go into sex thinking these are things I have to do, and you don't have to do anything. Do whatever you want to do.
Do what makes you happy, and don't do things for the sake of it, of peer pressure. I don't do things for money. Do you know what I mean? I don't just do it for money. If I don't feel it's right, I'm not going to do it. Same with sex. Don't do it if you're not ready. Do you know what I mean? Because you can be mentally scarred from sex. It's so bad. If you get forced into it or you feel you have to, I think you're just going to you're going to become unstuck. Do you know what I mean? It's going to become a bit weird for you. Life's short. Why do you think I do what I do now? I'm like stuff, I don't care.
I think just know what you like, know what you don't like, know what you appreciate, and really work on your own self-worth. If you do that, you'll never really have an issue with anybody else and what they're doing with their sex life or even their profession. And you'll probably just be a lot happier because you get more rewards when you experience sex and life, when you have a really good, healthy relationship with yourself.
I'm an entertainer. I'm not a sexual therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I have no advice to give to anybody. Go to see a psychologist. Talk to your parents. Talk to your friends. Talk to a professional. I have no answer.
There's no one way to do anything. There's the way that we think, or that we're brought up thinking sexuality should be. So regardless of what you feel your sexuality is, if you feel the need to explore something, explore it. If you feel the need to explore something in sex, explore it in a healthy, constructive, and well-communicated way. Always communicate. That's the biggest thing. Communicate everything. There's nothing that is more attractive than communication.
I would definitely give the advice to don't stop at missionary. Don't stop because something that you think feels good will always feel good. There is so much in the world of sexuality that there is to explore. There are so many different tools and apparatuses and things that you can try.
Yeah, just own it. Totally own it. Own it. Yes. Sorry. I started to get into my sexuality a lot when I was around 12 or 13. My favorite rapper, Lil Kim, she was the first woman I discovered that really owned her sexuality. She rapped about sucking dick and her pussy and using men for their money. And this is back in the 90s, okay? This bitch was ahead of her time. And I was listening to it thinking, I didn't know women can say things like this. Because the only woman I looked up to in my life was my mother. Growing up, your biggest role models in life are your parents, I guess. And you're kind of an extension of them. And she was just a housewife and she had no friends. She had to stay home, raise the kids, and my father worked. And I just saw how unhappy she was, and I'm like, no, women can't live like this. There's got to be more to it. And then I discovered her and I'm like, come on, this is a movement. Yes, own your sexuality, throw, okay, you were scared of the dick, now throw lips to the shit. handle it like a real bitch. You know what I mean? It's so good. Sorry, I get so excited.
Don't be afraid of experimenting. I think a lot of people outside the industry or just in general are so afraid to do the unknown or do what people go, oh, I couldn't possibly do that. So straight away they're in the back of their minds going, oh, I can't do that because my friends don't do that. And when I talk about this with people that are comfortable talking about this topic, they always say, oh, I couldn't possibly do that. Yeah, don't hold yourself back. And I think people need to understand that if we live by what society says is normal and we only do what people say is normal, you know, how many times can you eat vanilla ice cream and crave chocolate later? So for me, I like to explore everything, and I encourage everyone to explore their sexuality, whatever that means, and don't let people yuck on your yum. Don't be afraid to do things that everyone else isn't doing, and if they're not doing it, that doesn't mean it's not fun. It's just not for them.
Nobody's body is something to be ashamed of. We all look different, you know, all different body types. Nobody's perfect, so don't compare yourself.
Especially for I love when I see a woman who totally owns her sexuality, because, you know, it's always the man sort of thing, and a woman it's bad for a woman to own it and, you know, sleep around and all that. Nah, fuck that shit. You know, you should enjoy it just as much as men do. All my idols are women, and very sexualized women, and I love that. It's so empowering. We're not designed to be with one person for the rest of our lives. People need to get over that shit. That's what society has conditioned us to believe. You know what I mean? It's okay to sleep around. It's okay to have more than one lover. You know what I mean? I've noticed the people that are very old-fashioned, where it's one person for the rest of their lives and all that, they're the most judgmental people. You know what I mean? I'm slowly cutting the people like that out of my life because I'm sick of them making me feel bad about my own life decisions and choices. I just reckon people like that are so jealous that I get to live so free without the fear of judgment and all that. And they attack me, people like that. They're like, this is why you're depressed. This is why you have mental health issues. This is why, you're friends with these kind of people. You know, heavily tattooed sex workers. They straight away judge them. You know what I mean? No way. I didn't know there was a rule book to life that we have to live like this. Bitch, let me read it. And I'll fucking fix you up and rewrite it. You know what I mean? Fucking hell. Sorry, that topic makes me really angry.
It doesn't stop at two people coming into a room together to have a nice time. It starts with you. It starts with your own self-exploration. You can't tell someone how to give you pleasure if you don't know how to pleasure yourself. And you can't expect someone to read your mind about what you want if you don't know how to verbalize it yourself. You need to do the self-exploration, and you need to do the internal learning to then be able to go out and explore the world. It comes from within. So if you have any shame or any trauma or anything like that, it's your responsibility, unfortunately, to do the work and look after yourself and make sure that you're putting your best foot forward for when you do go into a vulnerable space with another person.
Hey, my name is Daniel Dalloway. I produced this mini-series. I'd first like to give a big thank you to everybody that agreed to be interviewed for it. I couldn't have done it without your support. If you'd like to watch the uncut interviews, head on over to Patreon. Otherwise, subscribe on YouTube or follow on Instagram, whichever you prefer. And I'll see you for the next episode, which will be hopefully in a week. All right, see you later.